Hello, folks. We are back. It's 2025. Happy New Year to you from everybody at Fizz Designs and SEO. Don't forget, before we start, you can find us online at fizzdesigns.co.uk or, as you can see behind us here, at Fizz Designs UK on social. So if you want to look us up, reach out, ask a question, whatever, you can do that on there. And of course, don't forget, the website itself, fizzdesigns.co.uk, it's packed full of information, education, or as we call it, Fizz-ucation. Get on there, use the blog, use our website's menu, our pages, all that kind of stuff. It is packed full of information to help you and your business do better online. And look, it's all free. We're not charging for this. We're showing you what our knowledge is, our authority and all the different topics and things that we talk about. So please go use it. And without further ado, today we're going to be talking about why local businesses fail, the importance of having patience, investing in your brand, your website, and your marketing, and why by doing all of that consistently, you're going to be on the road to success. And well, let's get to our end. So you're back again. This is the Fizz Designs and SEO podcast, the show where we try our very best to uncover the truths behind what makes or breaks a business. And if you don't know who I am, I'm your host. I'm Gregory Cooper, and today we're going to be talking about, like I say, why local businesses fail, and more importantly, how you can succeed by investing in your brand, your website, and your marketing. And we do this on a regular basis with our clients, and the successful clients have got one thing in common: they've got patience and they've got consistency, and they invest. So the key here is patience. Really is have patience. I think even Take That wrote a song in line with marketing people out there. You gotta have patience. So success doesn't happen overnight. That's the reality of it, especially in areas like SEO, marketing, where you really need to put the hard graft in up front, and then the results kick in afterwards. But for those business owners who trust the process, that stay consistent, and that they do give it time, the rewards are and can be transformational. Really, that make a massive difference. To a business that succeeds and doesn't succeed. It really does come down to staying consistent and trusting the process, and of course trusting in the people that you're working with. Your marketing agency, you have to trust them. And further to that, of course, I would be saying that anybody that you do decide to work with, just make sure you put in a bit of research beforehand. Make sure that they've got good reputation, that they've got good reviews, all that kind of stuff going on, and that local people, local businesses nearby say good things about them. And of course, try and support local. If you're based in Glasgow, Scotland, try and use a business in your local area, because then that way you can get to meet them and do the business face to face. But that's not to say it has to be that way, because as you've probably known if you've listened to the podcast before, our business here works with people that we've actually never even met before. We've done everything via video call, online, using the latest technology. But of course, most people do like to do it the old traditional way, sitting down and having a natter. Okay, so the bigger picture. Before we dive into the stories, let's kind of step back and look at why so many local businesses fail. Now, in my experience, this often comes down to two things: underestimating the importance of the actual brand, building the brand, and even branding. What is branding? The website, and what marketing really is. And expecting instant results, that would be the next one. Giving up when they don't come, or expecting them now when in reality you maybe have already 10, 15 other competitors in your area already ahead of the game, already maybe a few months ahead of you, or it could be a few years, and that happens. A professional looking brand, of course, and website paired with consistent high quality marketing are what really separate the thriving businesses out there from those that fade away over time. But here's the catch: these things do take time, and of course, us being experienced and specialists in SEO, for instance, it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. The businesses that succeed really are the ones that embrace that this is a long-term approach and that they are here for longevity. So, if you can get that into your head from now or from the off, and the penny drops, it'll make it a bit more understandable, and you can build your plan around it being, your goals and your expectations. It can be a bit more realistic in a way. Real life success stories of patients paying off. Now, I did a bit of research into this one here, and of course I'm referring to my show notes. And I want to talk about businesses that understood this and turned their patients into profit. Okay, you should know this one because I'm starting off with Amazon. We all know Amazon. If you don't, where have you been? What rock have you been hiding under? It's an e-commerce giant today, but it didn't start that way. It started as a small online bookstore. Jeff Bezos launched it in 1994, and it was operating out of his garage. Now, I've seen the photos of what it looked like, and it really was messy, cheap looking in the early days. But of course, he had a vision and he stuck to it. And that was just selling books online, basically from his garage. And it was extremely basic back then, but fair play to the guy. I mean, he's became very successful, and for years Amazon operated at a loss. A lot of people don't realize that, and when I say for years, I think it was close to a decade. He basically focused on reinvesting his profits into growth. So it was always about not taking much out, but just consistently putting more in. And sometimes we don't have the patience to do that. I have to speak from my own perspective. I did that with my own business, and even though there was plenty of hard days and at times I felt like giving up, I kept reinvesting in the team, in the software, in the equipment that we needed. And of course, the big thing for me was team. I kept bringing on more team members in order to be able to bulk us out more and actually have more time available for our clients and more knowledge and experience, basically. But he kept reinvesting, Jeff Bezos at Amazon. He kept reinvesting, building a strong brand, creating user-friendly website, and he was innovating. He was ahead of his time in a lot of ways, and he kept doing it, again, with the word patience. It took nearly a decade for Amazon to expand into other product categories, and they just consistently then, after that, kept turning profits. And of course, today it's one of the largest companies in the world, all because Jeff stuck to his long-term vision. The takeaway here is that he didn't rush it. He focused on building a foundation first, even if it meant years of, waiting for that big payoff. And like I say, there's many businesses that we've worked with have approached it in that same way. Maybe they know of the Amazon story. Who knows? Up next, I'm sure we've all had a pair of trainers before, a pair of sneakers. Nike or Nike, whatever way you like to say it. I don't know. I think I say Nike. I think I say Nike, but my kids always tell me off and say, "Dad, it's Nike." It's just a habit. Whatever way, whatever floats your boat. But anyway, Nike, again, another global powerhouse. They started from humble beginnings, founded in 1964 as Blue Ribbon Sports by Phil Knight and Bill Boorman, selling imported Japanese running shoes, believe it or not, out the back of Knight's car. And, this was all new to me when I was researching this, because I knew that I wanted to find big name brands out there that started small, just to impress upon you that we all start small. We all start somewhere. You're very, very lucky if you just start and you're big instantly. I don't think I know of any brands that have been able to do that. And if there is out there, it's very few and far between. So they were obviously operating on Japanese running trainers, not their own style. They just wanted to really buy and sell trainers. But I think their long-term goal was that they wanted to create their own kind of brand. And for the first few years, they had no brand. It was quite simply just shift and sell trainers to get a bit of money in, so that they could then further establish a brand. So it was slow, and they had patience, because they probably knew that, look, if we want to be big in the end, we're going to have to do this in stages. And of course, back then, there already was big companies like Adidas, or as some people say here, Adidas. They were already big in the market. So, Nike, they were already up against it. So what did they do? They invested in their brand, and they played the long game. Borman, he famously developed the waffle trainer, which became a hit. And again, jump to Google or any other big search engine and type in the waffle trainer, and you'll get to see it. They created a bold logo, as we all know now, the famous kind of Nike tick, the swoosh, and a brand message that resonated deeply with their target audience. And of course, we all know what that was. Their big breakthrough actually was in 1998, when they launched their Just Do It campaign. And that's, as we know nowadays, Nike is famous for Just Do It. It wasn't an overnight success. Again, patience and consistency was part of the game here, and it was a result of 25 years of patience and persistence, really, that helped them carefully build a strong brand identity and put them up there with their competitors like Adidas and others. Now, the next company, this is probably not as well known to some. I've came across it, so actually probably I knew the business owner more than I did the brand name, but I'm aware of the brand name. It's called Spanx, Spanx, and I hope I'm saying that right. I think I am saying it right. But it's a more modern example, the turn of this century. Spanx it was like shapewear, I think mainly for women. I don't know, maybe some guys wear it, but it was a shapewear brand created by Sarah Blakely. When she started the company in 2000, she had no experience in fashion, no investors, and no team. She bootstrapped the entire operation, initially pitching her product door to door and doing all of her own marketing herself. So she was a brave woman, but she had a vision, and she was sticking to the plan. She believed in her vision, and it was all about the willing to be patient. She didn't see immediate success, and in fact, I think it took a good 3 or 4 years of kind of hustling and persistent before Oprah Winfrey mentioned the word Spanx on her show, and that just totally catapulted the brand to fame. And today, Blakely is a billionaire. So not just a millionaire, but a billionaire, because her revolution, her own vision of this product being a household name was a dream and a goal, and she made it happen. So, there's 3 massive billion-dollar businesses that all started small. Another one that comes to mind, I'm going to get this wrong. You're going to have to Google this, but a lot of people don't know of the name. I know the story behind it, I just might get the names wrong. But it's B&Q. If you're not aware, if you're not from the UK, B&Q is it's DIY.com basically. That's the web address. But B&Q is a bit like the Americans have a Home Depot, so it's a bit like that, where it's like kind of all like DIY supplies, tools. It's a big, massive kind of warehouse type place, and they're all over the UK. There's probably hundreds of them, but that started in the garage of 2 guys, and the B&Q stood for their name. Hold on, I'm just going to look up B&Q founders. just so I get the name right, and you can go and look into this. Yes, Block and Quail. That's what it was called when they launched their actual DIY store back in the late 60s. It was founded in 1969 by Richard Block and David Quail as Block and Quail. But now it's got over 300 shops in the United Kingdom. I should have probably put that down in my show notes, but to be honest, I totally forgot about it until there. It just came into my head. So B&Q, if you've never known this, B&Q actually was called Block and Quail. And again, I obviously stumbled upon this in research at some point, and I think it was only at the tail end of last year, and I didn't know that. I just thought B&Q was just a made-up brand name. But if you go to DIY.com and you go down to the footer on their website, you'll see that there's an About section. You can go in and read about it in there. So the power of patience in small business. Okay. Now, as we said up above there, these stories, they are inspiring. But let's bring it back to local businesses, because that's where we are and that's what we specialise in. As much as I would love to be doing B&Q or Nike or Spanx SEO, it's not the case. We specialise in working with local people here, with local businesses. And you may not be looking to be the next Amazon or Nike, but it is the same principles really that apply. Success does take time, and whether you're running, be it a small bakery or a landscaping business or an online e-commerce store, the key is have the patience and the willingness to invest in quality. That's what I would try to say to you. I'm not going to get into horror stories, but I'm just going to say the word quality, and hopefully you understand. Like I said earlier, make sure that the people you're working with have got a good reputation, they've got experience, and that they've got lots of 5-star reviews, let's say. So I'm going to share with you now smaller, more relatable examples, right? We work with a car valeting and detailing business, and they basically came to us a number of years back. They wanted to improve visibility and online and really attract more customers, because they realised back then that online was the future. Maybe long gone the days where you were dropping business cards and flyers into businesses trying to pick up car cleaning jobs, valeting, detailing, all that kind of stuff. They didn't have a massive budget and they didn't have a lot of money really to go, but the one thing about the guy, the business owner, he was willing to invest what he did have. He understood that branding was important part of the puzzle, and a professional website and consistent SEO was something that he came and spoke to me about from the off. Back then, even a lot of business owners, even still to today, a lot of business owners don't really understand the process, and it's up to us to explain that. But fair play to James, he did understand the process, or at least the basics of it, and he came prepared. So the client, they already had a website, right? But my first impression was that it needed redesigned, it needed new photography, I needed to remove all the kind of fake stock imagery stuff that was on it, cars, American cars, supercars that they were just, at that point it was just a bit unrealistic. It didn't connect with me, and I just felt that we needed to replace that with real photos of real jobs, real people, and really to impress upon our target market in the local area that this is a local service that we're providing, and remember that people must connect with the message when they come in and read and look at your imagery, your photos, your video, even on your website. They need to connect with it, and I think that was all very, very broken in the website, and again that made the brand look a lot weaker, in my opinion. Anyway, so we went about redesigning the website, created a fresh, brand new identity, logo graphics, and even some print material, banners, etc. And after probably a few weeks, we did get a bit of feedback that they were getting more work via the website. And whilst it probably wasn't yet enough to cover the investment that they were putting in each month, I kind of felt maybe there was a wee wobble. The owners started to wonder, is this worth it? And I just assured him, took him back to show him that, look, we've been doing this for a lot of years, we've got a good reputation, and here's our current success stories and of course our reviews, and just said to him, look, trust us, be patient, and trust the process. He did, and by month 6 they were ranking at the top of the first page of Google, at the very top, for key terms like car valeting in their city. And month 9, I think it was, I've made notes on this, month 9 they saw a massive increase in traffic, and so much so that they landed a number of high paying contracts from nationwide companies. Again, these nationwide companies and big brands probably wouldn't have entertained them if they hadn't of invested in the brand and started, gaining a lot more customer reviews, and just the website in general just looked night and day from what it was previously. And now, several years later, they've launched multiple vans, and they work with Supercars Daily, celebrities, and some of the city's best known business owners. What's the key? The key to this is they trusted the process. When many haven't, they stuck to it. They succeeded because they made the decision to go all in, and they're now sitting at the top. And they're probably the top brand in the city due to their dedication and consistency in their SEO marketing. So they've got hundreds of different keyword phrases that they are sitting at the top of all the different searches that go on Google, and of course the other search engines on a daily basis. And this very business here, the success to this business was they were generating over £25,000 worth of car valeting and detailing leads each month. People might laugh and chuckle, they're just cleaning cars. Yes, they are, but they're doing a very good job of it, and it's a very high-end job that they're doing. So fair play to them, because I remember when they came to us, the price for their job was here, and where they're at now several years later, the price is increased because they've built their brand up. They've been able to just make everything better and stand out there as an actual leader in their industry. Now, we also helped them create and launch the, I suppose it's the first of its kind, an educational program that teaches students in schools across the country here how to clean cars correctly, set goals, understand business, teamwork and communication, and more importantly, focus down and have dreams and goals that they could actually be the next big thing in the city, or the next big business, or next entrepreneur. And getting feedback from the schools and the teachers, it's phenomenal to hear that even kids' communication with the teachers, their behaviour improved. Any maybe wee bumps in the road, or maybe let's call it bad behaviour, which happens in schools, it just seemed to reduce because they had a focus. They really wanted to be part of this programme. And this programme's on fire, and I know, because recently I had a chat with a business owner, there's a long list of schools looking to get started on this very thing. So my kind of final point to this would be build a strong and trustworthy brand, and amazing things like this, they can be achieved. So why patient works for SEO and marketing? Okay, patience, it's critical for SEO and marketing. SEO is about building trust with search engines, and really it takes time, and trust takes time. Google wants to see consistency and quality over months and months and even years, and not weeks. If you want to get quick, instant results, Google created a program for that. It was called AdWords. But the downside to that is you could throw a lot of money and invest a lot of money at AdWords, and you might get a response. But of course, when your money runs out, or when you turn that off, it's like a light bulb. 1 minute you're there, the next minute you're not. And of course, with SEO, it's about longevity. It really is about consistently keeping your brand at the top of search, and you really will be a market leader. Branding and marketing require repetition, and your audience needs to see your message multiple times before they recognize and trust your business. And of course, by staying there in the organic search and in the local search listings and being there consistently over time, that really helps. And I know that really helps Fizz in itself as well, and never mind all our clients, because we've been about for so long now that, people even see me in the street and they go, you're the Fizz guy, aren't you? And they might not know me by name, but they know me as being the Fizz guy. So if you give up too soon, you're cutting off potential momentum before it has the chance to take hold. And the reality is, a lot of people do feel because they pull the plug too soon. And maybe we're just starting to build a bit of momentum, but they just pull the plug, and it is so disappointing when that happens. Now, it doesn't always happen. We hope if we do our job right and we educate our clients right, they will understand from the off what is committed. Because I would rather say to them, look, don't start this journey unless you're 100% in or 110% in, or unless you've got the budget sitting there ready to rock and roll for your marketing. Because, again, you need to have that. You need to be prepared. Practical tips for staying patient. So, how can you stay patient when building a business? Again, I've sat here banging my head off this desk many a day, but here's some tips that I've learned along the way, and some tips that I've learned by researching and of course as well talking to clients over the years. I'm lucky now. I've been at this since 2004. So I'm able to wear the t-shirt and say that I've been here and I've learned a lot, and the experience is definitely there. So set realistic expectations. Understand the SEO, branding and marketing. It can take time, and be prepared to commit at least 6 to 12 months before you expect significant results. That's when the needle starts to move a wee bit. Sometimes it can happen before that, and sometimes it takes a bit longer than that. But at least you should, and in most projects we working on, we're seeing stuff happening at that point. Track progress incrementally. So focus on small wins along the way. Don't just aim for the biggest city in the world. Maybe focus on some smaller cities or smaller towns that you would like to get working in, and work about it that way. And at least then in the early days you can still be picking up wee bits of work as you build out and maybe focus down on these bigger locations, or bigger cities, whatever that may be. Website traffic, higher engagement, and positive customer feedback. Make sure that you're not forgetting about that. These are things that you want to keep an eye on and that you want to track. And of course, when you're working with, agencies like us or other SEO agencies out there in your area, you should find the good agencies. Of course, will be tracking everything for you from an analytical perspective. They'll be tracking all the different keywords. Everything will be transparent so that you can see your monthly reports and understand, here's what you're paying and here's the progress that you're making. And listen, sometimes it's small progress, but eventually just keeping there, being consistent and being keeping that repetition happening and persistence, you will start. And there will be a day with the hockey stick moment, as we call it, kicks in. Whoosh. That's when you get excited, because you're like, whoa. We had a client there, one of our clients that's probably only maybe 6 or 7 months in at the moment. But we looked at the weekend, and when we looked at their Google Search Console, on Monday we noticed that they had the busiest day ever on their website on Saturday there, through organic search, through people searching and finding their website. And listen, it was 2 to 3 times more traffic that very day. So why did that happen? Well, there may be reasons why it happened, but I'm just going to say the fact is they're ranking for lots of these keyword phrases. If they weren't already ranking for them, they wouldn't even stand the chance. So, this client, must be happy. I'm sure they are. I have let them know that they had a really good day, and they were able to actually respond back by saying, yes, well, actually, we did get some more email inquiries on that day, more than we're used to, and there was a few more calls as well. So again, that's what we're looking for. Work with experts, partnering with professionals that have got good reputations ensures that you're making the right moves from the start. This reduces frustration and builds confidence in your strategy. And there's nothing as bad. Excuse me, I'm going to take a wee drink. I'm talking a lot, there's nothing as bad as starting your project, your campaign, whatever it is you're doing from the off, you're rebranding, you're doing a new website even, but you've started with a cowboy company and they let you down because they're not doing everything the way they should, and that'll put you off. And so I've heard so many times from people, SEO doesn't work, search engine optimization, not for my business, tried it before, it failed. Unfortunately, maybe the first time you tried it or the second time you tried it, you were just looking in the wrong place. Maybe you were looking for the cheap SEO company, and that's why sometimes you need to just pay that wee bit more to get the experts or the best of the best in your area or your city, whatever. And that's when you're going to get the results and the success. And of course, stay focused on the long-term goal. Remind yourself that why you started, and keep visualizing where you want to be in business, be it a year down the line or 2 years down the line. And many a time I've sat with clients and said, where would you like to be in 2 years' time? And down the line, we've then sat and had that conversation. It might be 2 years, it might be even 1 year, it might be quicker. And we say, remember that conversation we had about where you want it to be? You're there now. And believe it or not, I had that very conversation with a client here today. We're talking about a project that we're doing in London, and I'm saying, remember we spoke about that 2 years ago. We spoke about how would you like to be sitting in the top 3 positions for London for your service, and they were like, wow, that would be a dream. Well, it's now actually reality because we're number 3 as of today, as of actually before Christmas, but the fact is we're number 3, so happy days. So I'm going to wrap this up with any kind of closing thoughts that I may have on my notes here. I want to emphasize one thing. Patience, as the old saying goes, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a business strategy. Whether you're a small coffee shop or a retailer or a service provider, success does take time. And look, I can only speak by experience, and I know that might be hard for people to take my word on these kind of things, but again, if you're working with any good marketing agency, SEO company with reputation, read the reviews and see what other local businesses or businesses in general have to say about them, because then you're able to say, well, actually these guys have got lots and lots and lots of 5-star reviews, so they must be telling the truth. And I'm telling you the truth. Takes time. Businesses that stick with it, invest in quality, and trust the process, they are the ones that will thrive. And again, I've got a long list of people that I've been working with from as far back as 18 years ago, and they're still there. And we've just redesigned. We didn't really rebrand, but we redesigned a brand new website for a client there just before the turn of the year, and we're pressing forward with a whole new SEO strategy for them. And again, we were laughing and giggling how, wow, this is 18 years we've been doing this. But that says something. They're here for a reason. They've stuck with us for a reason, because it's working, and we're offering a good, honest service with results. Now, if Amazon and Nike and Spanx can grow from small beginnings to global brands, imagine what is possible for your business when you combine your smart investment choices, and of course apply that to patience, and the two combined will put you in a good place. So other than that, once again, I just want to thank you for tuning in to the Fizz Designs and SEO podcast. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. Sometimes when I'm doing these episodes, I'm sharing my screen, and you're getting to see things on the page and whatever. Look, if you want, I haven't done that today, but if you want, you can go to fizzdesigns.co.uk, go through it, the blog, the podcast, everything's on there. there's pages and pages of information that will help you understand better. If you're wanting to learn about SEO, marketing, web design, digital marketing, all that kind of stuff, definitely go to the blog section. It's on the menu system when you go into the website, because in the blog, we connect up with LinkedIn a lot, and there's another thing, follow us on LinkedIn. Fizz Designs is on there, and if you search for Gregory Cooper, you'll find me on there as well, and we're on there all the time talking about all this kind of stuff. We're definitely not shy on LinkedIn, because we want people to see that we're confident, we're professional, and we're talking about our industry and what it is that we know. So please follow us on LinkedIn, go on there, and as I say, a lot of our stuff is shared through LinkedIn as well, because that's a good way of building your brand and keeping your brand out there in front of people. So please, if you could, and you like the podcast, I would ask you to jump onto Google, Google Fizz Designs and SEO, and leave us a review. Tell us what you think of the podcast. Would love to. It's something I never done this before, but somebody said it to me. Why do you not pick up reviews for your podcast as well? And I was like, see, in 2025, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to reach out and ask people, could you review our business, our brand, and let us know if you've picked up any help whatsoever from these kind of things. And as always, stay focused, stay patient, and keep building your dream, because being lazy or procrastinating or not getting things done is not going to build your brand and bring you success. And of course, you must invest with the professionals, and you need to be patient. So that's it for me for today. I am over and out. I wish you well, and we'll see you in the next episode. All right, thanks for watching. Bye for now.